Hey guys, welcome back. So, Happy New Year. And also, this is Timesplitters Rewind. Well, what is Timesplitters Rewind? So, this is a new. Essentially, it's a collection of the old Timesplitters games remade in Unreal Engine. So, here's what the about is. Timesplitters Rewind is a fan project that serves as a greatest hits collection of maps, modes, and leaks and challenges and story content across the original trilogy of Timesplitters games. It's not a traditional remake in that there isn't three separate executables. It's one game that, as close as possible, captures the spirit of the three games in one. So unlike a traditional HD collection remake, it's its own thing. By the end of its development, the goal is to have extensive content spanning the three games upon initial launch, while focused on a subset of both existing content from the original games and some new content. Across the past decade, nearly 200 contributors have committed hours to this project, ranging from a few hours to thousands of hours of development time. Some hobbyists and other AAA game developers, it's the largest amount of free content ever provided in a video game. Without monetized elements, it was not easy to make. We made this game from pure passion and interest in more Timesplitters content. Feel free to read the full project history below. I will include the link if you want to read it go through it for yourself. But I mean, it is very extensive history. This is going back to 2007, when pre-production development began on Timesplitters 4, which obviously that ended up getting canceled as the IP shifted around for so many years. Now, ultimately, there was that failed reboot that got canceled by Embrace Group, where apparently that wasn't even going to be what the Timesplitters IP was. It was just Timesplitters a name, and some characters that represent characters from the Timesplitters IP, but the type of game it was going to be, it just wasn't Timesplitters at all. So I'm kind of glad that got canceled, because I don't think it would have respected the Timesplitters name. But moving on from that, so what requirements is required to run this game? I'd say the specs are surprisingly low, very low. Here's what you'll need. You'll need 8GB of RAM. For the GPU side of things, you'll need a GTX 760. For the CPU, you'll need an Intel Atom C750 at 240GHz. And for a hard disk drive, you're going to need 35GB of free disk space, so not even an SSD drive for this. Now the features though, 28 maps, online offline story mode, 51 arcade leagues, 32 challenges, 96 characters, 41 weapons, 20 arcade game modes, new game mode, team elimination, updated game mode, last stand, online offline arcade with bots, 10 players online. Further updates may include additional maps, characters, game modes, and community requested features. And there you have it. That's what is included in the early access launch of this. And this was when the game first came out in early access. I believe it was late October or late November. I believe they're arranging it to be around the anniversary of the first game, I think it was, which was back on the PS2 way back when, because the first one was only on PS2. Then with the second and third game, they released it on GameCube and Xbox, because the PS2 was out first before the other two, so it just made sense. Back then, I never played the first one, so this is actually, fun fact, this is actually my first experience with Timesplitters 1, because I didn't have a PS2 back then. I was a GameCube kid growing up, so there was also an Xbox in the house too. That's how I played Halo growing up. So yeah, I mean, what do I think of this? I think it's a love letter to Timesplitters. I love it. It's really freaking awesome. I really love it. It definitely tried to respect the spirit of what Timesplitters was as a whole. You know what I mean? Now, I believe in terms of story content, I believe at the moment, the first one is the only one that's in there so far. They obviously intend to add, the second and third game later on down the line, by the time the game development is all said and done. But yeah, other than that, I've obviously played the arcade mode as well. So I haven't tried online multiplayer yet. I may try to at some point. But other than that though, that's really all I gotta say on this, because again, this game is in early access, so expect bugs, like the developers even said themselves. I mean, this game has been in development for a long time. So, and again, the required specs are pretty darn low, so you can run this on a potato. So if you like Timesplitters, I recommend giving this a shot, because if you kind of grew up on that IP like I have, you're gonna love this. You're gonna really dig this, because I think it's really good. So it's really good. I recommend it. So that's all I gotta say on this one. You know, it's a little short video. I kind of want to talk about this because I've been wanting to for a while. So yeah, that's all I gotta say on this one. What do you guys think? Let me down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, hit the like button and consider hitting that sub button so you don't miss any more videos. And I'll see you on the next one. Until then, have a good one.